Hi, my name is Josephine Loren, and I am an author, an activist, and the community organizer of Incest AWARE. Today, I'm proud to be applying everything that I've learned in my life as an incest survivor, as well as in my career, to help shape and drive the anti-incest movement in the United States. But enough about me. Let me introduce you to my community.
Peace and blessings. My name is Dr. Lori. I am the owner and founder of Still Whole Wellness.
Hi, my name is Rona Broderick, and I'm the founder of Moasis, Mothers of Adult Survivors of Incest and Sexual Abuse.
Hi, I'm Rachel Grant, and I am the owner of Rachel Grant Coaching and founder of the Beyond Surviving Method.
I'm Nubia DeVoe Wilson, and I'm an advocate for survivors of child sexual abuse.
Hi, I'm Feather Burkhauer with Parenting Safe Children.
Hey everyone, I'm Shakidra Roberts. I'm the CEO and founder of my speaking platform, which is IME.
My name is Penny Psalm. I go by she, her pronouns.
Hello, I'm Cheryl Gale.
My name is Dr. Vanessa. I am a founder of No More.
Hi, I'm Donna Jensen, and I am founder and director of Time to Tell.
My name is Maria Sokoloff, and I am president and co-founder of 5 Waves Incorporated.
My name is Mary Knight. I'm the owner of Mary Knight Productions.
My name is Ethan Levine. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a researcher, educator, and advocate.
Hi, my name is Kessie Kibble. I'm an incest survivor, as well as an independent educator, artist, sister, friend, writer. I think it's important for us to have a broad view of who we are, more than the devastating experiences we've endured.
So how did I become incest aware? My daughter was 3 years old, my son was 2, and I was watching them innocently play in my dining room, and the memory started to come back.
What most people didn't know was our Army officer father, who was forward-facing to the world as the military soldier, decorated, degree-holding hero, as people would label him, was doing really horrific things behind closed doors.
I've been on my healing path for 40 years because of the incest and abuse I suffered at my father's hands.
I had been involved in anti-violence work, mostly sexual and domestic violence, for almost 2 decades when I connected with the founders of Incest AWARE. I had invited them to come speak to a class I was teaching, and it was actually during their presentation that I came to understand that incest was a part of my own personal experience.
I became incest aware at age 42. That's when I remembered that I had been abused by my brother when I was 10.
I am the survivor of various types of incest. I didn't remember the abuse until I was 37 years old. My family response was denial and accusations against me.
My great-grandmother was raped by a white man and got pregnant with my grandmother. My grandmother was sexually assaulted. My mother was sexually assaulted. And then I was sexually assaulted. And so I say that it stops with me.
Incest is happening these minutes. Right now, incest is happening.
We know that incest abuse has a ripple effect, impacting the survivor, family members, the community, and the world.
This is really important to me to bring this awareness to the Black and Brown community on such a topic that is often swept under the rug.
And I talk about growing up in that household where what happens in this house stays in this house. And even as adults, I feel like you still get that. When I start talking, what is society gonna say? What is family gonna say? It's still that when I say something, I might get in trouble.
If we don't talk about it, we can't heal, because even from a scientific standpoint, your trauma is in your DNA and can take many cycles or generations for that to be undone.
The neglect of incest has not been without intention. Unfortunately, the historical silencing and repression of stories of survivors has happened throughout history.
So you have to get to a point to let people know this is real, this is really happening. You have to protect your children.
It is my belief that adults are responsible for protecting kids from sexual assault, that children can learn protection skills. However, ultimately, it is up to adults to protect children, not for children to have to protect themselves.
Incest prevention needs to occur at all levels. This means within families and broader social networks talking about this, but this also means that we need legislators, educators, individuals across a range of social systems, recognizing that this issue is a part of their issue and getting involved.
We speak comfortably about this subject. Our children will be raised knowing that this is a topic that needs to be discussed and is open and safe to talk about.
The conversation should include things like safe touch, privacy, consent, secrets, age-appropriate sexual behavior in children versus concerning behavior, and even pornography. And yes, let's face it, these conversations are awkward and they are uncomfortable. But like I always ask, are you willing to feel a little uncomfortable so children never have to?
The way I envision prevention of incest is massive disclosures from survivors. Because the more our world realizes the extent of this epidemic, the closer we'll get to preventing it.
Intervention parents and caregivers need to be more informed about the prevalence of child sexual abuse, that it happens more so in the home than it does in school or outside of the house with strangers.
Safer interventions begin with adults who are educated on how to receive this horrific information.
When someone comes to tell you about whatever trauma they're going through, really all you should be saying is, how can I help you? What do you need from me? That's it.
Safer interventions to me would mean having a broader range of options than we do right now. So for example, children ideally have some safe people in their families, but are not limited to people within their families. There are ideally also safe people in schools and other community sites.
Studies show that the faster an adult intervenes in a child's life in safe and appropriate ways to end incest, the faster they will also recover from it. I envision a world where the person who harmed is removed from the home and the child who is more vulnerable can remain safe. If the person who harmed is also a child, I envision a system that helps provide financial support for families so children can be separated and still safe.
But in childhood abuse, you can't usually run away. You can't fight off your perpetrator. And if in incest, the perpetrator is often a trusted loved one. So crying for help isn't effective either. When arousal stays high, it has a very negative effect on the immune system and leaves us vulnerable to chronic pain and chronic disease.
It's just like ridiculous for someone to say, just leave it in the past. I can't leave something in the past that is showing up in my today. I have to face it. I have to deal with it. I have to learn the tools to be able to work through it so that I can see myself in a different way in the way that I show up in the world, and I can then see the world in a different way.
By me talking about this, I am letting go of the cycle of trauma. If I don't recognize my own trauma, then I am also not recognizing the trauma that I've passed down to my children.
Recovery, as I said before, has taken 40 years of therapists, support groups, writing, body work, building a family of choice, and building my organization.
One of the things that therapy actually taught me is it wasn't just about the violator. It wasn't just about the person who caused the trauma. It's the people you expect to protect you from the trauma that also is part of your healing process.
When I made my films, I showed on camera my process of grieving and coming to terms with not ever having had parents who were true parents.
Recovery has been a long process. Healing has been a long process, but I'm happy to say that I've healed tremendously, and now I'm here to advocate for others.
That better recovery means that survivors are empowered to decide what that looks like and at one pace. Recovery is complicated. It is unique to us all as individual human beings. What that means is that we need a variety of options for recovery and healing, and that those options need to be affordable and accessible for people across communities.
None of my perpetrators were ever arrested, but I've done what I can to heal myself and to help others heal.
There's no justice with my father, who was a person who had committed harm. I feel like as my anti-incest activist work now, I believe in a restorative justice model rather than the violent carceral system that disproportionately impacts people of color.
The importance to get adolescent offenders in treatment and address it as opposed to letting this go on and more people being abused and hurt, families shattered.
Limited faith in criminal legal institutions like police, courts, and corrections to produce something that I would recognize as justice. I love the idea of, for example, restorative justice conferencing, but that requires harm doers to recognize that they are harm doers, and that is never going to happen for me. So when I think about justice processes, I tend to turn towards building a better world than I had access to.
Justice would be when every survivor is believed and when every community is healthy and strong enough to embrace families experiencing harm so that they can heal.
Justice, first and foremost, is a community apology to the survivor for what happened. The second step being to compensate them for the recovery journey. We can end recidivism through dignified and transformative approaches to heal the person who harmed.
I'm getting emotional because people just don't realize how lonely it can be, how much shame there is. I'm so happy that there are organizations like Incest Aware, people like Joe, anything that we can do to support her and support this alliance, I will do, because it's just necessary. It takes a lot of strength and courage to speak out, and I'm not gonna stop. I know she's not gonna stop, so we have to keep this going.
We can't do this by ourselves. It absolutely takes a collective effort.
I know that if an organization like Incest Aware had existed back when I was a child, that it would have saved me years of struggling and white knuckling it through life.
It's really the scaffolding, the framework for a movement that really has not existed before.
Community is everything, having one voice is everything, coming together and knowing that we're combating this thing together, because that's what it takes. That's everything.
Thanks for all you do to keep children safe.